it wasn't recording? No, I'm playing.
That was a good one. You actually got me for a minute. So I was like, after all that we did, that was a good one. That actually was good.
Yes.
You had me.
That's good. And we got him on camera too. Multiple angles. Let's go.
Because I jumped over like,
beg pardon.
Good morning, afternoon, and evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Reginald Bullock, and we have Trey Wilder, and this is Just Living Life. Thank you for coming back and checking us out. Hopefully you have been watching the videos, learning from the videos, and watching us have fun making the videos. What's up, Trey?
What's up, Reggie? I got a question, bro.
What?
So, like, you just don't like, because you said good morning, good afternoon, good evening. You don't like nighttime? Like, you don't care about nighttime? I'm just asking just for clarity. That's all. You said, like, we like to have fun with it. You know what I'm saying? Just, I was curious. You got a problem at nighttime?
No, but how many languages do you speak?
I mean, a couple. I made up a couple myself, though. So
yeah,
that's
so
why.
like, bonsoir, monsieur. What's that?
Hello, madam.
Sabah Noor.
I don't know him.
Right. So Sabah Noor is Arabic for good evening.
I didn't know that, actually.
And bonsoir is French for good evening. And buenas noches is Spanish for good evening.
Mm-hmm. Is that night or evening?
Buenas
Noches?
noches. Because it's noche and you think it's night.
Yeah, I was thinking night.
Now, the other piece that you said, what did I have a problem with? What was your term?
Nighttime.
It's not called nighttime. When you go to different countries, they say good day and they say good night. So at night, they say good night.
Okay.
Yeah, they don't say nighttime. They say, like, in the morning, you say good morning.
Yeah.
At night, they say good night.
Right.
So I don't have a problem with it, but who says that?
I say good night. Like, they got the acronym GN.
You just
good
said
night. Like,
yeah.
But
you said nighttime.
Well, I was asking because you didn't say nighttime. Like, you mentioned evening, morning, the day. You didn't say nothing about night. That's all. I just noticed that. I was curious. That was all.
So what does AM stand for?
Morning.
And what does PM stand for?
Evening.
Past morning, right? So, I mean, you can call it what you want, but good morning, afternoon, and evening. I am Reginald Bullock, and this is Trey Wilder doing what he does, and I'm doing what I do. Welcome to Just Living Life. Matter of fact, Stevie Wonder has a song that says, "Good morning or evening, friends.
I don't know.
Is your friendly announcer. I have serious news to pass on to everybody."
We do have some serious news, actually, to pass on. To folks,
What do we
I
have?
guess. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're actually talking about today thankfulness and inspiration. If y'all have been following the episodes thus far, you know that we have really a two-parter every episode. So, if you haven't, now you're up to date. So we're gonna start it off with thankfulness.
Yes.
So Reggie, Thanksgiving. You know what I'm saying? It's around the corner.
It's
really
more than around the corner.
Really around the corner, right?
Mañana.
You know what I'm saying? But when they see this, though, it's probably gonna be after
That's true.
Thanksgiving.
That's
though.
true.
But what food are you most thankful for, out of curiosity, for Thanksgiving? Because I'm just give a little context. He likes to, go out in the wild and hunt and all that stuff like that. That's Reggie. So when I ask that question, this is not a foodie type of question. I don't think it's more of a what do you like to eat, especially after you've potentially caught it. I mean, what are you most thankful for food wise?
Well, I mean, I like turkey.
Mm-hmm.
There have been times though where I have smoked a turkey, fried a turkey, and bake the turkey at the same time. So I'm that guy. I'll get like 2 or 3 turkeys.
Same time.
And yeah, because they taste different.
Yeah.
A turkey out of the oven tastes different than a smoked turkey. It tastes different than a fried turkey.
That's fair.
So sometimes I just want them all.
Okay.
And then there are times when I would just go all out. So I may have turkey, duck. I'm going to have duck tomorrow. I'm going to have duck and turkey. Sometimes I'll have venison. Maybe
What is venison, out of curiosity?
deer.
Okay. Maybe in case y'all was ignorant like myself, you know, if y'all knew.
And I know a lot of people make a ham for turkey.
Mm-hmm.
I will maybe smoke a shoulder and make chopped barbecue out of it. Yeah.
Chopped barbecue out of
A shoulder. What are you thankful for? And this is kind of what he's talking about, what we're talking about. What are you thankful for? There's a lot that, I have to be thankful for. There's a lot that Trey has to be thankful for. But what are you thankful for, really? And so, second way to you, I said second way, on purpose.
So,
what are you thankful for?
Well, if we're talking food-wise, that's a toughie. Oh my gosh. Actually, I should have thought about this before I asked you the question, right? If I had to be thankful for any food, this is really tough.
You asked the question.
I know, right? Why is it that daggone tough? Like, I want to say mac and cheese, because again, for like Thanksgiving,
yeah.
That's usually a staple.
Do you know how to
food,
make
right?
it?
Yeah, I know how to make mac and cheese. Now, have I ever made the mac and cheese that I prefer? No. But I'm an SME in eating that mac and cheese, so I think I'd be able to at least recreate it if I needed to. So I do want to try to experiment and like make my own Thanksgiving meal like by myself solo. Mm-hmm. So I think next year I might try to do that.
So therefore, what are the 3 foods that you would definitely have, or that you like?
Oh,
mac and cheese.
Desserts aside, yeah, you got mac and cheese.
Right.
That's tough. Ham, I'll throw a little ham in there.
Okay.
Cause I'm not the biggest turkey fan, even though I get it, but like I'm not the biggest. I can go without it. Okay, no, I'm gonna go yams with marshmallows on top of it.
Yeah, you go.
You gotta have that. Actually, or I might be lying. No, I can have collards any other time. Dang. It's a toughie. I'm gonna have collards as honorable mention. You know what I'm saying?
just made a whole bunch of collard greens. Literally on Sunday, I made probably 8 gallons worth of collard greens. Yeah, and so collard greens. What I was looking for, I couldn't find.
Okay.
Chitlins.
No, you got it. No, that's no.
That is a Thanksgiving
Challenge.
and Christmas
Challenge
meal.
on the plate.
Chitlins, man,
Foul.
with some hog maw in there.
Nah, I'm cool with hog maws, but like
you know the hog maw
is. I know a little bit about that. Chitlins though, no. Like I've never even eaten chitlins before. But I was 7 years old in Fayetteville, and I promise you, I smelt them one time, and it was at someone else's house too. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, no respect.
You've never eaten nothing that smelled bad.
Like eventually, you stumble across something,
right?
But like chitlins is just a hard no. Like
okay.
it was that. Nah, I'm good. Like nah.
So aside from food, what are you actually thankful for?
I'm actually thankful for mentors, friends, family. This platform, it allows me to get into my own world, be creative, mm-hmm. Express myself in a variety of ways. It also allows me to potentially help out somebody, whether they wanted to think something differently. I recently I was recently talking to somebody and they asked me why do I like making the shows,
right? And
then I was like, honestly, bro, it's to help somebody else out. Mm-hmm. Like it's to give someone else an outlet. So I mean, I'm thankful for everybody who has helped me get to this journey, and I'm also thankful for those who I guess are inspiring me, whether that's older, whether that's people who are younger, people who are looking up to me, whatever the case may be. I'm thankful for that reason, as well as my own maturity too. I think this past year I've done a little bit more maturing. I'm still immature. I'll gladly attest to that. But like I think overall, like I've been taking solid steps to maturing.
So speaking of maturity, the 21-year-old Trey, mm-hmm. what should you have been thankful for that you weren't at that time?
Oh, I think how easier life was in comparison to like now. Mm-hmm. There's more responsibility, right? But I think that's also just when you're younger, you don't know a lot of stuff too. Mm-hmm. So I guess from that vantage point, I would be more thankful having less on my shoulders. Mm-hmm. Also,
they say age is wasted on the youth.
Yeah, I can see that. Because I didn't have too many regrets, I guess I would say I'm fairly thankful for a lot of stuff, but like I would be more thankful, I would say, looking back at it now. How about yourself?
Well, I mean, I have a lot to be thankful for. I'm always thankful for my health, because the older you get, the more stuff starts to change.
I should have said that.
At age 55, everything started falling apart, man. Meniscus surgery in both knees, and spinal surgery with pins and screws in my back, and all kinds of stuff. And foot drop, and I mean, I go on and on. Arthritis, and so I'm still able to do things though. Right. I'm not bedridden.
Yeah.
I'm not walking around with a cane or a walker, and so I'm able to be active and get out there. So I'm very thankful for my health. I've lost so many friends. I remember I went to a funeral last year, and this guy was born 8 hours after me in the same hospital. My mother and his mother were in the hospital at the same time, and I'm at his funeral, and I'm still alive. So I'm thankful, for my health. I'm thankful for life, and I'm thankful for my journey.
Yeah.
I came from the hood, right? So I'm not there anymore. But the journey from the hood to where I'm at now has taught me so much. To your point, you're able to help people. You're able to do more for other people because of all of those experiences. And so to that end, I'm thankful for my experiences. Yeah, so I mean, it's just so much I'm thankful for. It's been in 2023, it's just been a great year for me.
Yep.
So I'm thankful for that. Now, we're using the word thankful, but sometimes it's either synonymous or different than the word grateful.
What's the difference though between grateful and thankful? Out of curiosity, what's
Okay,
your
Socrates,
difference?
you tell me what do you
No, I'm
think
asking
it is.
because I'm actually trying to think. Like when I'm thinking grateful and thankful, I guess thankful maybe more appreciative of surroundings or more appreciative of things that you've observed or witnessed, and then grateful is like something that's like been done, or I'm grateful for this, but I can also be thankful for something that's been done too. So that's what I'm saying. I'm curious.
That's
like,
what I said. It could be synonymous and it could be different. And so the difference between grateful and thankful, in my opinion, is how you internalize the gratefulness piece. Because the gratefulness piece is when a lot of times there's a spiritual element associated to it.
Okay.
And so you have a different vibe of why this thing happened or why you have good health. I'm thankful that I have good health.
Right.
But I'm grateful that I have good health. So I'm grateful means thank you God, or thank you Creator, or thank you to the universe for giving me this opportunity or for allowing me to see the next day. So you're grateful in that. And so I think the difference between thankful and grateful, although they can be synonymous, is the weight of your expression that you put behind being grateful is different than the weight of being thankful.
Yeah, it does feel that way. Like if you pass me a plate of food or a plate as I'm getting my food, I'm thankful. I don't know if I'm grateful. I'm about to have a plate full.
But if you haven't had food in 2 days,
then I'm grateful.
Starving,
then I'm grateful.
And I just happen to walk up and say, here's some mac and cheese and some yams with some marshmallows on top and a ham with a side of chitlins.
That's when you lose me. I might just kick off the chitlins and be like, I'm thankful then.
So and that's the whole piece of, where thankful is what we talk about, but sometimes we actually may mean grateful.
That's true. So I guess in our own time, we got to really think and reflect what would be the difference in our own lives between grateful and thankful moments. Because something feels a little bit more grandiose, I think that means grateful. And if something,
it could. It depends on the person.
Right. But again, as you said too, though, it's synonymous. So I guess either word really works, whatever best works for y'all. I think I'm gonna try to go with whichever one is the heavier feeling. I might try to go with grateful, because I don't know that there has to be some sort of difference between the two, like a solid distinction. That does kind of seem like the best answer. I gotta look it up on the dictionary now and see what they say. Cause
when's the last time you actually looked in a dictionary?
Does Google count? Because I do look up. Okay, I was about to say.
Do you even have a dictionary?
I do actually.
Okay, big one or a little one?
It's the little one.
Okay, little college one.
I think It's like yay big.
It's got tabs on the side.
I think it's got like a little like small tab. Like it's not the biggest dictionary out there though.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just asking because there's a difference between generations and some of the things that your generation is doing now or not doing. We may have done it or didn't do it.
Well, I mean that you gotta. You always grow off what people do beforehand. So when you say we're doing stuff that's built on what y'all did, what are some of the things that we're doing in terms of that dictionary, for example, that you guys used to do? Because it sounds like
we used to look in the newspaper at the classified want ads with an ink pen and circle them, and then we would look at the number and call them up and try to get a job.
Okay.
So you don't do that.
No, but it's different mediums too, though. Like we got like LinkedIn,
a lot of that
stuff like that. Yeah, so it's different platforms. Yeah. Okay.
And we had to manually do it.
So what about going back to that dictionary thing then? What did y'all do? Like, what did you do back in the day? Or what did you guys do back in the day, dictionary wise? Like, did y'all have a dictionary always on hand?
No.
Okay.
No. You had to go. You would write the word down, or try to remember it, and when you get home, you look it up.
Okay. Huh. You mean you had when you say you went at home and looked it up? What you mean?
The dictionary is at home.
That's what I was asking. Did y'all have a dictionary at hand on home? Like
yes.
Available.
Yeah.
Okay.
Most homes had a dictionary.
Okay.
Yeah.
So y'all just casually that was a favorite pastime.
No. No.
Like...
No. It was not. As a matter of fact, in English class, they would give you 10 words and send you home to look them up and write down the meaning of them. So you had to go home, find them in the dictionary, and write out the meaning. And I'm not sure if I was thankful for that, but that's what we had to do. Yeah.
Well, I'm thankful that they evolved from that point when we got there.
You should be.
Because that's not ridiculous. Like maybe a little fun, but after a while, I get tired of that. Like if you make it to a game, like all right, who can come back with the most words found, and then you see like who can regurgitate the most definitions or something like that.
That wasn't fun.
Maybe
fun was playing basketball, football, roller skating, things like that.
That's more fun.
But sitting at home at the dining room table with a dictionary and a piece of paper.
See, okay, now that's different because I'm also envisioning I'm multitasking. I got a TV in front, you know what I'm saying? I'm watching a little sports, maybe a little Lakers. Kobe was active, you know what I'm saying?
So back then, most houses only had one TV, and a lot of them were black and white television, the big giant one, and that was it. You weren't multitasking, watching something like that on TV. And all of those sports that we watch now were not on television.
Yeah, it's a little different.
And we only had 3 channels.
Yeah.
But then we had 7.
Okay.
7 channels total.
7 channels total.
So, and we were thankful for that.
See, yeah, there's way more than 7 now.
Channel 3, Channel 6, and Channel 10, Channel 12, Channel 48, and Channel 33. I remember those. And sometimes Channel 17.
That's wild. Yeah, there's way more than
with
7
antennas.
Now. I remember the antenna days. Those are far gone. But I mean, but I think when you like kind of look back at those moments too, though, or even hear those moments, it makes you more thankful of what you have going on.
It
today.
does.
Like my TV now, it's a smart TV.
I mean, I'm thinking like in this, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 TVs.
Yeah.
And 4 laptops and a PC.
Yeah.
6 laptops and a PC. So all of those are screens. Back in the day, we had 1.
Yeah.
And no laptop. We had manual typewriter with a ribbon.
So I actually do want to purchase a typewriter. I think it's actually fun. I think it's actually neat. You know what I'm saying? Like it's retro. Like I appreciate the old school stuff sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like.
Okay.
I do actually appreciate that. So I do need it. That actually just reminded me because
it'll build your muscles up in your hand.
Yeah. Well, I mean, typing already does that for me.
No. Manual typewriter will build your muscles up because you got to hit those keys.
Oh, for us, a big difference like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna have to try and see that. So I think that's gonna help me be at least a little bit more appreciative of, like, it's the simple things in life, and I think a lot of times we are looking at our world from like a really, I don't want to say spoiled lens, but like a spoiled lens to a degree, and like I think we got to just really take.
We
a
use
step
the
back.
term now called entitlement, and it's an entitlement type of generation.
Well, I think entitlement though does come with work ethic as well. So if you've worked hard for something and you've achieved something, I think you are.
What
entitled.
13-year-old worked hard for 39 sneakers?
39 sneakers.
Yeah, they got 39 sneakers and they want a 40th one. You know, and then you got kids turning 16, they want a car. They don't even have a job, and they want a car.
The want is you know is cute. Anybody can have a want.
And then they get it.
See,
So then they get used to receiving these things, and then they start to expect these things, and then when they don't get these things, they get mad or throw a temper tantrum or whatever you want to call it because they feel entitled to this stuff, like it's supposed to happen. Mark down the street got a car when he turned 16. I want a car when I turned 16.
See, that's more of a parent thing. Anytime I hear
Prom
that,
coming, high school kids, limousines, and all kinds of other stuff, and parties and everything. They don't even have a job. How is the prom for a 17, 18-year-old costing $5,000-$6,000, and they don't even have a job?
well, I think in today's society that is more of the norm.
How is it the norm?
No, I say it's more of the norm.
Why?
Like you get more people who, for example, you might have some parents say, "I want you to focus more on your studies than get a job." That might be the case. Like that might be someone's logic. So I do say.
I mean, it sounds nice,
it sounds nice.
but
It
the
sounds
reality is,
there can be drawbacks to that, right? But I mean, there are some kids who honestly, if they are focusing on getting a job, they might struggle on their education as well too. So I mean, where would you want your child to focus on? Getting a job or focus on their education too? I think like that's also something the parent got.
I think that they should do both.
Because, okay, so do you think every kid can do both?
I think living is a requirement.
It is a requirement.
I think teaching and learning and developing people to live is a lost art. I think that when they turn 17 and 18 and they still don't know how to do laundry, that's sad. And they don't know how to clean up after themselves when they get to college.
Yeah.
And now they're in school, the only thing they know is school, but they don't know how to get a job because they never had to get a job. And they don't understand that balancing act of reality in life. So they've been sheltered from the reality of a struggle. So that's why I say both.
Okay.
I mean, it doesn't mean you have to have a job where, you go downtown and you sit somewhere. It's work,
Right.
Exchange of services for money so that you can use the money to do what it is you need to do.
Right.
So if you don't have a job, where are you getting your money from? A
Right.
gimme?
And
A money tree?
And just be clear, and just clarify, do you count chores as a job?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I just wanted to make sure because I didn't know if you were going to do that.
Yeah, I mean, if your parents have you doing various chores, cutting the grass, taking trash out, cleaning the house on Saturday, whatever those things are. If you got to paint, all right, we painting the basement. Everybody paint. Those are chores, right? And so you're working in exchange for money.
Yeah.
And so, as opposed to giving you money,
yeah. I'll hear that. When I was saying we kind of have like a spoiled mentality, I think we look at our problems like, oh, this is grave, but if you go somewhere else, it's a lot worse over there. So that's why I was saying that more from that standpoint in general. I think your point is more so towards like the parents and their upbringing, which I was gonna say that could kind of bleed into inspiration a little bit, but
What do you mean?
Well, inspiration and thankfulness kind of tied together a little bit for me, because like usually when I say what I'm thankful for, it was the people who helped inspire me, so that way I can help inspire somebody else. So that's why they kind of bleed together. But I guess looking back at the upbringing of the child in that situation, I would actually encourage parents to add a little bit more discipline in their
more or
structure.
mo. Okay.
Mo. You know what I'm saying?
So no, I get it, but when you say discipline, Discipline comes in all kinds of ways. So what
Structure in general.
Okay.
Like not. I don't need you to beat your kids. I'm not saying that you can, but like I'm not saying.
So if you have this or structure,
structure,
and your child said, "I ain't doing that," Mom, you crazy. I'm not doing that.
Doing what exactly?
Whatever it is that the parents say do.
So
I see and hear a lot of kids talking back to their parents.
So I think there's a show called My Wife and Kids.
Okay.
And Damon Wayans is the main character on the show, one of the main characters, father figure on there. And what he does is he challenges his kids. Okay, cool. If you feel like you're ready, like one of the kids, Junior, on the show said that. Actually, all of them banded together, and they were like, they don't want to like participate in any of the rules in the house.
Get out the house.
Get out the house. Like live in the backyard. And the only one who's like kind of tried to stay on his own 2 feet was Junior. So I'm like, I can actually work. I can do that.
You can do what?
I can do what Michael Kyle did. Or
you can make them
Damon Wayans. I can have
outside.
them sleep outside, give you a tent, because end of the day it's going to at least tell you, okay, well, this is what life is like outside of living with me, and with me comes my rules. So if you're okay with living like this, fine.
So, okay,
no kid would want to.
What about a kid that walks in the house mad at their parents and slams the door, and then the parents take the doors off the door hinge? It's like, all right, you slamming the door to the bedroom like you own this place. Now you don't have no door.
That's tough. I do think you should have some privacy, right? But also, with children, it's like it's a thin line between privacy and like, this is still my house.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not mad at someone taking the door off the hinges
To prove a point.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, because I get it, right? You got to make sure, but
especially if they did it multiple times.
Yeah, it's like and if you've told them
right.
that's not how we're going to conduct ourselves in this house. Because then also, no, like, I'm not going over to someone's house and slamming their doors.
Right.
Like, that's stupid. So, like, if you're doing that at my house, I can only imagine you doing that at someone else's house. So, yeah, I'd rather nip that in the bud, too. So that's fine. Like, I think that, and that's not punishment to the point where it's detrimental to the child. But I think also, and let me ask you this, if the child started saying, hey, I think that's affecting their mental health, that the door's off the hinges, how would you react to that personally?
I would say, show me your licensed therapist certification that you actually assessed yourself. That's the first thing I'd say.
But they're saying,
because if you're telling me it's affecting your mental health,
mm-hmm.
right? How do you know? I mean, it's just like any other diagnosis.
Mm-hmm.
So you're diagnosing yourself. All right, break it down for me.
I mean, we do say that we know ourselves the best, though. Like, if we know our body's the best, or we know how we feeling the best, no one else can tell us how we're really feeling.
But to say that it's affecting my mental health, to me, it's a cop-out. You got to break it down. What element of your mental health is it affecting?
Okay.
How is it affecting it? Is it a long-term thing or a short-term thing? How long have you been going through this?
Okay.
And what other elements to your body is going to happen? Is it going to cause stress? Is it going to cause any other disorders?
Yeah.
Are you going to need to take medication for that? Because based on what you're saying, perhaps we should go to the hospital and get you checked out to make sure that if there is an issue, we can fix this issue. Because, you're not just going to diagnose yourself just to get me to stop.
Right. Okay.
No.
Right. So you want more clarity, which makes sense too. Details do matter. So,
but then at the same time, who's the parent? Because sometimes we shield our children from all kinds of stuff. It's like basketball. Okay. Anybody that has contact with another person is abuse.
What you mean?
I mean, if you bump me, if you post up on me,
you
whatever, you hit me.
That's abuse.
You hit me. You hit me. I don't want to get touched in basketball. You hit me.
I don't want to get touched.
See, you laughing, right? And that's my point. So when you say that to the coach, what's the coach gonna say?
All right, go on the bench.
That's my point. So how is it that children are telling parents how to be parents? No more than a player's telling the coach.
Because I guess with the parent and so like with the coaching and the player dynamic to the parent and child, there are some similarities, but ultimately, I do believe that the child ultimately does run the parent. Like now granted, the parent sets the structure. The parent is the guider. He or she's the mentor, the provider. But ultimately, you do everything for the child. Like if you do something wrong, you could lose a child. That's detrimental. Like they are really running you. So I think with the coaches, you're running them. Like you're kind of maintaining them. They're to
But a
help
parent
your
is a coach.
betterment.
A parent is a coach.
So
A
they
parent
are,
is a teacher.
They are.
A parent is a mentor.
But they're also
and
more,
the children might not be thankful for the parents.
They're not. And see, with players, you have to be more thankful because the coach is not your parent typically. So they can focus on 14 other kids. The parent, usually that's a one-on-one dynamic. Like hey dog, there were some days I wish there was 14 other kids to help out.
I mean,
so I'm just saying that I don't know. Like,
but back to the structure piece that you mentioned, right? Mm-hmm. You put structure in place, and the child's not following the structure. Now what?
Well, you gotta take away stuff, so that way they can become more thankful.
You put them in timeout, as you say.
I don't think just timeout. I don't, because you can be away from society for a little bit, for like a small amount of time. And
Here's an example. Cyberbullying. Mm-hmm. And people are saying and doing all kinds of stuff that are hurting other children to the point that these other children are committing suicide.
Or bringing guns to school and
right.
killing other people, yeah.
So what should the parent do about their badass kid? Who has been bad for a while. They know that. They don't seem to be able to. I can't control him. I don't know what to do. And then he hurts somebody. Mm-hmm. So who's responsible?
I mean, if I'm the parent of the cyberbully, I would take away their electronics. Mm-hmm. Because that's extremely grave. Like saying that out loud, I had to think about like, dang, that's the phone, that's the computer. Like you almost got to ask yourself, is it too much of an inconvenience on your own life? Because you still got to communicate with the child. Mm-hmm. Now you got to do a bunch of stuff, but you can also block them from accessing
their friend's computer while they're over their friend's house hanging out.
Oh, you think they can go to friends' houses? That's cute. Like that's not at all.
Oh, so now they on punishment?
Yeah, you're on punishment. Like, what you mean? Yeah, you can't, if you can't get access to your computer, to your phone, you can't go.
Then how they gonna do their homework?
For those
how
reasons,
they gonna study?
For that you can't. We'll block websites.
My point:
like
children
that.
Find a way around everything, and they're still doing that stuff, right? And so, again, it's hard being a parent.
It is, but let me ask you this:
and the children may not be grateful or thankful for their parent, so they're gonna do whatever they want because they feel entitled.
Now, let me ask you this though, because going back to your point earlier on, like, you know, a kid working, right? Mm-hmm. So if you're working your tail off to remove stuff from your child's life because mm-hmm. they've done something wrong, mm-hmm. and these little runts sit up there and find a way. Are you not halfway thankful? Because you like, you know what, they kind of resourceful. Like, that's how I might look at that. Because I try to think like, all right, well,
kind of like them Santa Claus presents in the house
like
that you found.
Like,
prior to Christmas.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I think you might have to look at it that way too. Because at some point in time, you got to tip your cap to them. At some point in time.
I mean, it depends on your level of understanding and cultural awareness mm-hmm. and education and your emotional intelligence, your positive intelligence, and, you know, all of that, right? And so you might not be that smart. You could be from the Philadelphia projects, you know, didn't even graduate, dropped out of school, 10th grade. Now you got kids and, you know, you trying to make ends meet. And so you could be that parent. Okay. So, you know, one of the things that society has a tendency to do mm-hmm. is put everybody in a lump sum bucket compared to their own mirror. It's mm-hmm. like, what about all these other dangerous kids who come from dangerous parents, right? And so we can't forget them. We're not talking about people, everybody don't go to George Mason, right? Some people go to community college, mm-hmm. maybe, yeah. you know, and they just don't know. And they were raised by parents that never went to college. Yeah. And they just don't know. So if they don't know what they don't know, mm-hmm. these kids are doing what they do. That's a reality that's impacting the society.
Yeah, no, that's true. And now speaking of, you know, impacting society, kids, you know, parents, that kind of leads me to inspiration personally. I don't know about you. But My question to you is this, Reggie. Outside of, like parents and like, those close cousins and stuff like that, who would you say is the biggest inspiration to you becoming you? Who would you say that would be?
Wow. Because the journey in life, you meet so many people,
Mm-hmm.
and they impact you. They give you a couple tools, and now you have it. And then your stages in life, you got some people that walk the journey. But the one person that's been with me the most was my mother.
No, I'm saying like not outside of family. Outside of
Outside
yeah, that's what I'm
of
saying. And
that
you
inspire me.
Yep, and you could have met them or not met them, like just.
Got it.
In general.
Man, that's hard because it's several. It's several. Like in later day, Daniel James III. You ever heard of a guy named Chappie James?
No.
First black 4-star in the military. Mm-hmm. He kind of started the Tuskegee Airmen, the Eleanor. Anyway, his son was also Daniel James III. He became 3-star general, director of the Air National Guard.
Okay.
And he was like a father figure to me and a mentor. I think when I was a captain in the Air Force. And so him being a black officer at that level understood what stuff is that you got to go through as a black officer.
Right.
And he and I would have those kind of conversations, but he would also navigate me, mentor me,
right. Coach
me. He would come over my house and we would talk. And I was his exec at times and helped him out. But he was an example of perseverance and just intestinal fortitude. I remember when they wanted to make him the 3-star general, all of a sudden all these investigation things start popping up. And so now they got to investigate him, right? For almost a whole year. Not, we want you to be a 3-star general, we'll send you to Capitol Hill, sit in front of Congress, and get your Senate confirmation on, and you good.
Yeah.
2-3 weeks, maybe a month. No. Before that even happened, they wanted to play with him. And I watched that, and he would just help me to understand certain things. When he goes back to his hotel room at different conferences, he put on Boney James and just chill. He was an example, and that the inspiration piece is that he was just one generation after Tuskegee Airmen started, because that was his day. And so he went through some stuff. He was an Air Force pilot, right? And then the Tuskegee Airmen, they went through stuff. Yeah. Right? Bread and water and sleeping in a tent in the snow. I mean, and then get in the airplane and fly, and the airplane's cold. Right? And so he just taught me stuff. He would show me how to do things. When he's up there on stage doing a speech, afterwards, I would ask him, can I have that speech? He said, sure, here. And I look at it, and I would see how he scribbled all over it, wrote this. I'm like, so this is how you do it. And then one time he gave me a speech that he did, and I looked at it, I was like, this doesn't sound like anything you said. He said, I know. He said, my speech writer wrote it. I didn't like it, so I just. He said, but you can have it anyway, Reggie. I was like, wow, he didn't even use it, and he had his own speechwriter, and so. But he was always able to be that general officer, be a gentleman, be a friend, be a fatherly figure. And the interesting thing, I think it pissed everybody else off, but anytime we were in the same room together, he would come to the position of attention and bow because he knew that I was a martial arts master. And as far as he was concerned, I'm sensei, and so we would be in some high level places. Yeah. And we both be in uniform. He's got 3 stars, and I got an oak leaf cluster, right? And all of a sudden, he's bowing to me, and everybody like, what the heck is going on? And he didn't even care. Right. And he would do that, like, all the time. No matter where we were, the moment he see me, he'd walk up, and we bow.
You got to be consistent, though.
Oh, no, and I think he just did it because he could. Yeah. So, there are many more like him that inspired me. But that's a time period,
Yeah.
and he's one.
Okay. See, I feel you on that because there have been so many influential people like in my life, right? If I had to pick one again, it's tough, but I would say, and I've never actually met the man before, but Kobe Bean Bryant, you know what I'm saying? That's why I got the man's jersey. I'll talk to me.
I knew he was going to get to that 24.
But no, like he's been very inspirational.
And still is.
Yeah. I'm about to say for a multitude of reasons, because when he was living, he inspired me to play basketball, which also helped me network and really helped make me to be the person I am today. Then you also got when he died, and it's like it just kind of helped motivate me to get the show up and running, get a bucket show, which now has morphed into the network. So I'm trying to build up, which that's another person that inspired me for the networking part. But again, he helped motivate me to actually get up and not just start keep planning the show or keep thinking about it. Just get up and do it. So, execution. So again, I would say Kobe would be that inspiration piece for me.
Can you remember who might have been your inspiration when you was 13?
Kobe.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, no, it's been consistently Kobe because, when I got into basketball heavily because I saw him do a 360 dunk against Portland when I was 6 years old, so that was 1998. And then ever since, it was just he's always been consistent, at least in terms of that idolization standpoint.
So I do have somebody like that.
Who was yours?
Bruce Lee.
Bruce Lee.
I'm a Bruce Lee disciple.
Okay.
Man.
What about Bruce Lee makes him a big fan for you?
First of all, he can fight.
Uh-huh.
He's a bad dude.
I mean,
and he can fight anybody. And he wasn't afraid of anybody.
Not at all.
He would fight any human being on earth.
It's the intangibles.
Yeah, but the other thing is he was just a master at so many things. He was a philosopher, right? Had a degree in that. He was a science. From the scientific element of martial arts in the human body, he created so many things. You know how we use all of these fitness equipment, and they used to call them Nautilus and Universals and stuff like that. He invented a lot of that stuff because he needed to train. Okay. So he came up with a lot of that stuff.
Interesting.
Yeah, he wrote the movies that he didn't get credit for. For instance, Kung Fu, that whole series that became a multi-million-dollar series, he wrote that. And they stole it from him.
That's tough.
And David Carradine, a white guy, plays a Chinese guy. They stole it from him. And then Green Hornet, right? He wrote the Green Hornet, and they stole it from him.
Tough.
Literally, Hollywood stole it from him. This guy was so talented. He had built martial arts studio in California, just learning how to speak English, and just made this empire, created Jeet Kune Do, a whole new martial arts. And he was just confident. Okay. 100% about anything and everything he did. His fitness routine was amazing. His 1-inch punch, right? To be able to do that and knock a person 6-7 feet, 1-inch punch, I can show you. But he just mastered so many things. And then he could fight. I was from the hood. Yeah. So I had to fight whether I wanted to or not, whether I liked it or not. And I got my ass beat a lot. So how do I stop that? Try to be like Bruce Lee.
I get that. Plus, too, he also had swag about himself as well.
Oh, yeah.
So, that was always...
But you know why? He was a champion dancer.
I didn't know that.
He was the champion cha-cha dancer for China.
Really?
The country.
I didn't know that.
Long before he could even fight.
You gotta have good footwork.
He was a cha-cha dancer.
But I didn't know he could move them puppies like that.
He was the champion cha-cha dancer.
For how many years though? Do you know? How long was his?
High school.
Okay.
And then he got into boxing.
Okay.
And got his butt kicked, and then he started focusing on it, and he got good. Then of course he started learning Kung Fu.
I feel like once he realized boxing won't it, he was like, you know what, I can use my feet pretty well too. Let's use these. Let's move them puppies again. It makes sense now. Hey, and Bruce Lee was smart too. He was smarter than what we give him credit for. I honestly just.
And I think he still by far is, and was and is the baddest martial artist that ever lived.
I mean, he's the most known because like when you think of martial
I'm
artists,
thinking skill sets.
no, I'm saying when I think of martial artists, I think to the average Joe, that's the first name that pops up, Bruce Lee. Like,
Depending on the age, right?
Who else would you?
Some
say?
people think Jackie Chan is the man. Jackie Chan is good too, by the way.
He's cool, but I think he's more actor though. Like he do.
Bruce Lee
stunts.
started off an actor. Bruce Lee's dad was just like Jackie Chan. They did opera.
Wait, what?
They did opera. That's a play. That's the show. Bruce Lee's dad was into that, and Bruce Lee was part of that, and Jackie Chan did that.
Okay.
And so all of that stuff is moving to the bite, but it's different in China than it is here.
Okay.
But yeah, but he can fight. Jackie Chan can fight.
I mean, I'm sure he can fight. I just always gave Bruce Lee that nod.
Definitely.
And he just seemed more masterful with it. Jackie. I'm sorry, maybe you did a disservice with partnering with Chris Tucker because he dropped him.
Jackie Chan's good.
Jackie's smooth though.
Yeah.
Jackie's also inspiration as well too because he actually does his own stunts as well, and not everyone does that. Because like I wouldn't mind doing a little acting, but like that's a lot right there to remember your lines, to actually learn how to take hits and falls, because that's an art form in itself. Like I did jiu-jitsu a little bit, and they teach you how to brace for your fall, and like you gotta cup your head and then hit the floor. So I'm like, that's kind of crazy. Like so, like if I ever fall, I'm still gonna mess something up, but I know at least afterwards, dang, I should have done this. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but
you know
Jackie
what?
Chan,
I haven't taught that. I think Monday when I teach class, I may teach people how to fall on Monday. I haven't taught people how to fall in a while.
It's very important.
Oh yeah. I did jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, no, it's very important. I was like, but there's so many inspirations out there though. Like, I was just curious if you had one. Like easily, I think mine is easily Kobe. But like,
Bruce Lee. I mean, because you think about it, right? There's not a day that goes by that I don't think about, talk about, and do martial arts.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
And there's not a day where I don't talk about sports. Like,
exactly.
Like if y'all look at my group chat, right? Or no, in my phone, there's so many group chats. But like there's at least 3 of them that are allocated specifically for hoops. Like specifically. Matter of fact, I met maybe like 12 random guys just because I knew one guy from hooping. And they're all younger than me too, so they call me like old or whatever the case may be. So sometimes I be like, it's not worth it. I need to get out of this chat. But they also are inspiration as well, believe it or not, because they'll be talking to, and they have their own show as well. So I mean, the fact that
you inspire me.
See, like, I feel like everybody can inspire everybody,
even though you're old.
I think I'm young, but apparently a couple people have been saying I'm old. So
speaking of inspiration, we are closing out 2023 soon, and a lot of people have New Year's resolutions, but I'm not even thinking about it like that. My question to you would be is, what are you inspired to do next year?
I'm actually inspired to have my business blossom a little bit more. I am inspired to create more skits. I'm inspired to have more content out there. I'm inspired to have a better structured show as opposed to this year. This year I think I had a good step forward. But really, it's more so just about moving forward and progressing. So that's really what I'm thinking about in 2024. Which is why, to your point, I also believe in New Year's resolutions, because you should also be trying to progress continuously. So I agree with that. How about yourself?
So 2 things. One, New Year's resolution is always funny because, teaching martial arts, a lot of times we're at a gym. And every January, the parking lot is full. If I get there at a later time, I got to park all the way over, walk. And by February, the parking lot is emptied out. By March, it's back to normal.
Right.
So all the people that had your cars at the gym in January and your car is not still at the gym in February, March, and April, that's your New Year's resolution. Y'all one of them. So for me, in 2024, I had an awesome 2023. I mean, I wrote 2 books and got certifications. I did a lot. But in 2024, I want to make it about revenue. So I built a lot, right? I built a nice coaching practice. I am a keynote speaker. I am that guy to do workshops and things like that. So structurally, to your point, how you were talking about structure, the structure's there. I'm certified with the government. All of this stuff is in place now. where last year this time it wasn't like it is now. And now that the structure's in place, you know, the banking stuff, the admin stuff, payments and invoicing and all that kind of stuff, right?
Right.
Now it's about clients and revenue and making that money and not making, you know, just basic money, but going after the kind of money that you can be debt free.
That's nice. Yeah, that is smooth too. Are you going to be focusing on that clientele aspect now, or are you going to focus at that January 1st?
No, I'm focusing on that clientele months ago.
Okay. And I asked that because I have a friend who...
I ain't starting in January. I already started.
So I have a friend who has a business that they're trying to bring up, right?
Yeah.
And they've been telling me about it for a little bit. I've consistently told this person, like, yo, you need to start on it. And to their credit, you know, they have tried to set a goal, a date that this is the deadline. This is the date that when I'm going to initially start everything. Cool. I'm not mad at that. But then I hear, I'm thinking about pushing it back. So I immediately told him, you're not going to do it. Like, you're not going to do it if you push it back. Like,
I've been an entrepreneur since I was 6 years old. And one of the things that I've always learned is just do it.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Because
it's not going to be the way you thought it was going to be. It may take longer than you expected. You're probably going to make a lot of mistakes and screw some stuff up. Mm-hmm. So if you just start now, whatever that date is that you have in your head, well, maybe by that date you will have learned enough that you're doing better.
See,
you know,
it's tough though, because I will say, sometimes I will. All right, so I like to plan stuff out, right? It skips on the execution piece sometimes. So it's like I don't know, Reggie. Like you do need to make sure you do your due diligence. And I think sometimes for example, if I throw a video out there, there's still some effort that I have to put into that video in terms of editing it. So if I haven't thought about it and I feel like it's a crappy video, I feel like that's a waste of time too. So that's why I'm also like, I get it. I do understand their point when they're saying, you know, they want to start at this date just because they want to make sure they do all this research and all this stuff. But also to your point, sometimes you do just have to go out there and just do it and accept failure, because that's how you learn too. You do improve.
I mean, the reality is, why are you doing any of this stuff in the first place? And most of it, if it's a business, is to make money. So the question is, at what point do you want to pay your bills? Next year? Year after? So when I hear people talk about business, I'm like, all right, when do you want to pay your bills?
Yeah. And a lot of times too, especially in this space, because I was actually talking with one of the Neos, and like he's trying to focus on the business aspect of this videography world. And I'm like, it makes sense. It's hard to do because I really like the edit. I don't like the editing, but I like the editing. I don't like doing this, but I like doing this. You know what I'm saying? So, but you also got to focus on
paying for it.
Yeah.
How you gonna pay for it?
Yeah, and
those green screens you got, right? Mm-hmm. Did the business buy it or did you buy it?
The business bought it.
All right, if you say so. Business bought it. And so the point is that for those people who delay or procrastinate or plan, mm-hmm. It's like, okay, if you don't have no bills to pay whatsoever and you can just play business, fine. But if you about to hustle, mm-hmm. you want your money now.
Yeah.
I mean, that was my book, right? It's all about the hustle.
Right.
I want to get my money now.
Exactly.
I want to buy a house now. I want to buy a car now. I want to buy a suit now. I want to buy equipment now. Well, all right. You're not going to get any of that until you get revenue. You're not going to get any revenue until your business is up and running. Yeah. And your business is not going to get up and running if you're sitting here just planning. Yeah. So I get it. Mm-hmm. And that's fine if people have that mindset. But then 5 years later, what are they doing? Yep. Nothing.
Exactly. Like there's...
Still talking.
Yeah. Like, so there's this anime that I'm watching, and like I binged it too. Because I started like years ago, but I fell off the anime in general. But I'm trying to get back up to it. But I binged it back up there, and I'm realizing a lot of some of the concepts that they have in this show is some of the stuff I wanted to have in my own anime as well too. So it's like I don't think I missed a mark or anything like that. I don't think like my time, if I want to have my own anime show, I don't think that window's closed. But I can't say, oh, well, it's completely unique or whatever the case may be, because someone else has already done it too. But now when I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay, maybe I didn't like this aspect. Maybe I didn't like this or this, that, and the third. So now I can go back and make some changes. But I have to actually do it still. So, I mean, like, I can plan as long as I want to, but eventually that anime got to go out there. So, I mean...
Well, I mean, back to the inspiration piece.
Mm-hmm.
You can be inspired,
Mm-hmm.
but then to do what? So a lot of people feel good. They get emotionally satisfied from all kinds of inspirational things.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's another step to that, right? So what, now what? You're inspired? So what, now what? I'm inspired to do anime. I'm inspired to make a movie. I'm inspired to DJ. I'm inspired to write a book. And I'm like, that's awfully nice. I'm glad you're inspired. So what, now what?
Right. Like,
what's the now what?
Yeah. Like, someone actually just asked me, why do I like doing, again, stories, and I told them, again, I want to inspire somebody else. I want someone else out there. I wanted to help someone else. So my aim is my inspiration is to inspire someone else. So
But we talked about some of the other benefits to doing these types of things that will enhance your brand.
Yeah, that does too.
That will allow a lot of people to know about you who didn't before.
Fair.
And therein lies other opportunities because of the content for people to discover you who are able to afford to pay you to do X, Y, and Z. Because technically you're interviewing every time you put something out there, and they're watching you every time. And they may watch you for a whole year and be like, you know what, let's go get this Trey guy.
Yeah.
You know, because they've been watching you and they've gotten comfortable with you. When's the last time you met Damon Wayans?
The last. Never.
Right. But you feel like you know him because you've seen him a lot.
Yeah, he cool.
Right? Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
And so that's what your content that you're putting out to the public is going to do to the public. They're going to get comfortable with you. They're going to get to know you.
And you want to make people comfortable around you.
Right.
Like in life in general.
And they're going to get inspired by you.
Hopefully.
I mean, and then the next thing you know, somebody's reaching out and calling you up and say, hey, you know, we want to have you on our show. We want to do this, and we'll pay you X amount of money for it. And none of that would have happened if you didn't do something.
Yeah.
Now, I was just having this conversation with a client yesterday and another one today. One thing leads to another.
Oh, yeah.
One thing leads to another.
Everything builds on top of one another.
Yeah, if you think about your successes of where you are today, you can trace it back to something that was going on that led to that thing happening. But it was something before that, and something before that, and something before that, because you executed. Yep. You did what you were supposed to do.
Exactly.
And so, I mean, there are just so many examples that you can give. You know, if you hadn't become a member of Cap Alpha Psi, you know, we wouldn't be here, right?
Facts.
And we wouldn't have went fishing. And just so many things wouldn't have happened.
Yep.
If you didn't do that, if you didn't make line, right? But then, how did you make line? Well, prior to that, there was stuff that you did that led you up to that point. But if you don't execute and all you're doing is planning, one thing is not going to lead to another because you haven't done the one thing.
Exactly. So, I mean, ladies and gentlemen, as he clearly articulated, things build on top of one another. We stated that before. I think in the foundational piece, actually, in that foundational episode.
Oh yeah, you had a lot of gifts. Is you call it gifts or gas?
Gifts.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of it in there. But everything builds upon one another. So again, just it's good to create your foundation and plan it, but you eventually you do want to expand, but you can't really expand if you ain't really starting to.
I mean, you cannot live inside of or on top of or around a blueprint.
Yeah.
An architect can design so many different things and create so many blueprints, but you cannot sleep in it. You can't run the water, but it's a nice plan.
Exactly.
Can't live in it.
Yeah, so I mean, it's good to have plans. Trust me, I like to do my due diligence. But as Nike says, just do it. It's okay to fail. And please, I'm saying this as somebody who, it's easier said than done. So I get it. But Reggie, I don't know if that's if you have anything else you wanted to say about inspiration.
No, I think we good.
Okay, I was about to say. Well, I'm very thankful and inspired actually because when you got Thanksgiving actually tomorrow, so I'm about to be eating a bunch of plates.
I know it's Thanksgiving, but it's also Native American Month, Indigenous Peoples Month. So, if you think about the history of Thanksgiving, how it came to be, a lot of times folks talk about turkeys and Native American and corn. You have all of these representations of images of Thanksgiving.
Right.
But it's also Native American Indigenous People Month.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to present that.
No, you're actually right. Because I think on my I was wondering where this went. Actually, on my on my calendar, it says Thanksgiving, but then it gives like Indigenous People Day like the next day or something like that. So you're absolutely positively right. See, that's why you got to have multiple people on the show. If I mess up or forget to add something, he got my back and vice versa. But so that's why I'm thankful for this brother right here. So Reggie, with that being said, I think we can close up shop. So everybody, hope you all are enjoying the episodes thus far. I hope you like this one particularly. Because this one was a redo, so I'm very thankful for you to have some time on your hands to help me get this one back. But please like, subscribe, comment, tell anyone about the show. My name is Trey. This is Reggie. We're the hosts of Just Living Life. Hope you all have a good one. Take care.